Welcome back to Gaming Night. I'm your host, G.A.M.E.R here, and welcome back to Player Ways, episode 2, video game podcast covering gaming news, games, reviews, and more. And boy, do we have an exciting show for you today. We're going to be talking about the first big game to release this year, Prince of Persia and the Lost Crown, as well as talk about what to expect from the so-called Switch 2 and recently announced Xbox Developer Direct. As always, if you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing with your friends. We love video games. We want to talk about the thing we love most, and we want to share it with players around the world, regardless of platforms and or genre interest. We play games because we enjoy them, and we want to celebrate that by talking about the things we love. I say we because, ladies and gentlemen, we have our official co-host of Player Way making his return to the channel, Chris.
Hello, how's it going?
He is back. It's been quite a while since he's been on the channel. I don't really remember what the last thing.
There's
Maybe
a very good chance that it was another podcast.
either a podcast or a reaction to an event.
Yeah, it could definitely be a reaction.
Yeah, I
Um,
maybe I don't know.
it would have been probably one of the in-person ones because I don't think I ever reacted over stream with you. Or over call.
Yeah, we didn't do anything about the game. I don't know. But anyway, he's back. And
How's it going?
yeah, like we said, we have a lot of things to talk about. And so Chris, I'm gonna go and ask you just because I feel like we need to start every podcast this way because at the end of the day, this is a video game podcast, and this is what you do if you're into video games. What have you been playing recently? You been playing anything apart from Baldur's Gate 3?
I have no, actually, surprisingly enough, now. Um, I I've sunk in like over like I think 70 hours now into that game
Jeez,
combined.
that's wild.
Um, and that's just this year. Like, to be honest with you, like it's been pretty consistent. Um, I really haven't had time to play anything else because uh with there's my schedule changing so drastically now. Um, I'm used to staying up late and then doing whatever. Um, but now I like get up at like 6:30 every morning. So I'm usually when I get home I'll play a video game or like I'll read or something. But it's definitely been Baldur's Gate majority of the time. Um, I've played surprisingly enough I've played some Stardew Valley recently. I was playing that with a couple of friends. Definitely want to try to dip back into Alan Wake 2 and try out some new games on the Xbox because I know Remnant 2 is another one that I've been playing on my PS5, but it's on Xbox. It's on Xbox Series X now, so I can play with everybody now. So yeah, I mean that's really all the games I've been playing recently.
Yeah, that's also a game I want to play here, preferably in the first couple months of the year, just because I don't want to get too deep
It's
in
a
the year. So
it's a fun game. I definitely would recommend it.
yeah, dude,
It's
I
I
was
mean
what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was making a like hype trailer for my 2023 Game Awards, which is still happening by the way, people. It's just taking longer than expected. Um, but I was making that,
well, I
and I
mean you might
needed
have to wait till like 21, 23.
yeah, right. Uh, yeah, and I was getting footage from games, so I look up all these trailers for all these games, and I reached Remnant 2, and I was like, all right, I need footage for Remnant 2, so I look up Remnant 2 trailers. I was rewatching some of those trailers, bro. Those
It's a
trailers
it's an intense
are
game.
well, not even just the game. The trailers themselves are awesome, like
Hmm.
really good trailers. Like I was getting hyped. The music choice, the editing, the CG, everything on it was like epic. That was awesome.
Well,
Um,
I mean, Remnant from the Ashes was, if I'm not mistaken, that was highly acclaimed.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and so, I mean, it definitely delivers.
yeah,
Uh,
for sure. But all right, so let's go ahead and get talking. What were your top 3 games of 2023? You can throw in like a couple honorable mentions if you want, but what are your top 3 games?
um, you know, in all honesty, I kind of, I'm kind of stuck on three. Three are definitely, I have three. games, my top 3 of 2023.
I
Obviously,
can name one of
number
them.
3. No, number 3 is Tears of the Kingdom. Um, I mean, I'm a huge Legend of Zelda fan, and it's I was there day of, like literally the night it came out. I went and bought it, played it. I've played through it a couple times now. Don't get me wrong, I definitely burnt myself out on it, but good game. Love the game. Uh, Number 2 is hard to say because I haven't finished it yet, but I really like Alan Wake 2. I really like the vibes of
I
it.
was so confused where
Alan
that was
Wake
going.
2
I
is
was like, wait,
definitely
wait.
um the vibes are immaculate. I just love the way it plays too. And both of the stories, Saga and Alan, are awesome. And then number 1, King, Baldur's Gate 3. Uh, I expect that this will be. I mean, I expect it to kind of top my favorite games charts, at least top 3 for like the foreseeable future. Unless they come out with Baldur's Gate 4, and then I'll be like, well,
That
time
ain't
to
happening
time to
for a
hop on
long
this train.
time. That ain't happening for a long time.
No, no.
That would be cool
I
though
hope they
eventually.
keep updating. I hope they keep updating Baldur's Gate 3 like they have been. I would like to see more content being dropped for it
Yeah,
in the
like
foreseeable
I
future.
think Baldur's Gate, not that I'm comparing it to Destiny by any means, but like how Destiny approaches their expansions is like really big updates to like and like
Well,
I feel like they add a lot to the game every time.
what sucks is they usually what I will praise Larian for is that they do not lock content behind a paywall right now.
Right.
For right now, every hotfix or patch that we've gotten, sometimes they'll add like dialogue options that we didn't have originally. Like the game is always changing,
Right.
just not like outwardly. It's a lot of like just the choices that you have.
Right.
Um, but you
It's
have
always
not had.
changing and people have barely gotten past like 10% of all the possibilities. So
It's crazy. I mean, literally, like we were playing it the other day. I did not know Shadowheart would appear right in front of that door whenever if
yeah,
you didn't save
literally.
her. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like like I said, I've just this year alone, I've sank like a bunch of hours into this game, um, and never seen that ever. So,
Yep.
it was insane seeing that, and I cannot wait to see not not only what Larian does, but what the modding community does for this game is going to
Oh,
be insane. Because
Jesus.
I also own it on PC because I bought it on both PC and
Oh yeah, I remember
PS5.
that.
So now that I've upgraded my PC, I'm gonna mod that bad boy.
You have
But
any
yeah,
other honorable mentions, like games that like are definitely some of your favorites throughout the year, but aren't necessarily your top three?
um, probably Liza P. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's a good one.
there's Liza P is probably. I mean, probably one of my favorite Soulsborne now. Like, not even it's not even like a FromSoft game, but it is just up there, dude. Um, I know I kind of slept on it a little bit
You
originally.
did.
I like, downloaded it, and then I was like, oh, well, I
It's
finished.
sorry.
I forget what I finished, but I wanted to I wanted a new game, and I was like, oh, well, Liza P is on Game Pass, so I might as well play that. And then I played it, and I was like, well, here goes my life.
I remember that. I think you finished Jedi Survivor. If I'm
Yes, Jedi Survivor, because
yeah,
that wasn't a top. That's definitely an honorable mention too, because I had the some fun playing Jedi Survivor.
it
Jedi
is.
Survivor
I
was a
love
good
it. I
game.
love it, but
It
I can't say it's one of my favorite. You know, like I love
No,
it,
but it
but
is definitely a good game. Like I definitely had a good time playing because I mean I'm not gonna spoil it, but I just there were some twists and turns in that game, and I was like, well, I wish I would have went into it blind, but
mm,
it
I
happens.
will say that game did have, I think, one of the best boss fights of the year.
hmm
Um,
I mean, yeah,
obviously, Daddy.
yeah, 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 Mister Daddy Vader over there. I'm so glad we got to fight him this time,
Oh,
because
dude.
obviously in Fallen Order it was like you couldn't, And then in
Dude,
Survivor, it was like, well, you're not as Cal, but
I really think this, whatever the third game in the trilogy is going to be, I do think the third game has the potential to, like, reach that masterpiece, like, level. Because I feel like both of these games, while they have been great story-wise and gameplay-wise, have just felt like a continuous build-up, like, from start to
mhm.
finish. I don't feel like we've reached a climax yet in the story.
No. I just think I just need them to optimize the game a little bit more. I really
Right.
do
Yeah.
because there are a lot of moments where it's like you can tell it's like, well, my frames dropped,
They
or
they they did update it in October, so yeah. Unfortunately, it was a little late for us, but it
yeah. Well,
they
I mean
did
that's
update
kind
it.
of yeah. Well, that is after I beat it because
Yeah,
Liza P came out in like September.
yeah.
So yeah, but I mean definitely Liza P, J Survivor are up there. Um, oh my gosh. Uh, what else
Remnant.
came
I
out
mean,
this year?
you said Remnant. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's
Remnant 2.
one of your favorites,
I
but
definitely, I definitely don't know if that's like the best one of my favorite games that came out this year.
right.
Um, but it's definitely a fun game. I actually have a really good time playing it.
Spider
I don't
Man.
play it right
Spider
at
Man.
all.
You is that?
No, I didn't put that up here. No, not at all.
Wow, that's interesting.
I
I mean,
mean,
I
we've
don't
talked
blame
about
you.
it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I
I
would say
really
we've
don't.
talked about it.
I really don't.
Um,
I love it,
I like
but
Spider-Man 2.
you're right.
Yeah, I beat it. I beat it. I'm waiting for that new game plus to drop so I can play it again. But it's definitely not definitely not one of my favorite games of this year.
Yeah.
It was a good game. Good game. Definitely not one of my favorites.
Definitely Mario Wonder's got to be up there, right?
Oh, Mario Wonder. I mean, top of the charts, my man. It's like Worms Battlegrounds. It's like one of my favorite games of all time. Uh,
For everyone watching, me and Christian are not the craziest fans of Mario Wonder. Um,
no,
we
I don't like Mario
I
Wonder.
like it. I don't know. I'm like on the final world now, and I just have yet to click with it. Like, I think it's so cool, some of the creative things. It's very unique. I love a lot of the creativity within it, and it's fun. It's Mario, but, like, I don't know. I think the game got gassed up. I'm not gonna lie. I think
Yeah,
I think I don't know. I just think it's kind of overrated. But
it's so overstimulating to the point where I can barely play it. Like
yeah, yeah,
it's like I couldn't tell that I died like 14 different times, and then I'm like, well, why am I a ghost now? I didn't think I died, and it's
right.
like there's no like it's super chaotic. It is a
It
chaotic
is.
game, and I mean, 2 players max. Like that's where I'm drawing
Yeah,
the line on
literally,
players.
literally. But even like when I'm playing single player, this is my big issue with that game specifically. And the whole like debate of like Mario Wonder shouldn't have been nominated for Game of the Year because of its certain type of game. I don't think it's because people think that because of its genre. I just think of because the engagement of it, right? Because like that's a game for me. I cannot sit down and play like half of the game in one sitting. It's just
Mm-mm.
I would start dreading it, right? Whereas like I can maybe do a world in one sitting and then I'm like, yeah, okay, I got my fix for a little while. Now I'm gonna go play something else, right? And then I'll come back to it, do a world, and then I'm like, yeah, okay, it was fun. I got my fix. Now I'm going to something else. Whereas like something like God of War, I could literally sit there and beat like half the game in one sitting because it's just different. So
Well, I mean, I think it's only fair to compare that kind of game with a game that's very much similar to it.
Ori and
Like
the Will of the Wisp.
yeah,
That I
yeah,
can
Ori the
beat the
Will of the
whole
Wisp,
game in one sitting if I wanted to.
Prince of Persia. I mean, it's not really like the same, but like
Oh,
play wise, like
yeah,
it's a side scrolling adventure. Like you are completing levels and all that. It's
yeah.
but I'm not just the gameplay or anything, but I just from your reaction alone and from what I've heard of it, it's super good. Like it's not a It's definitely not Mario game or anything.
No.
Because Mario Wonder, at the end of the day, is a kids game meant to be able to be played with kids. So the kids are
It's
gonna.
also enjoyed by adults.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm
Right.
saying it's like, though, like Mario is that kind of game where it's geared towards one specific audience,
Yeah.
and that's family.
Right.
That is literally it. Like, I I just don't. I mean, family and friends. But if you're gonna sit down and play Mario Wonder, just play like Mario Kart or something. Like I'll be straight up. Like
Right.
play something that's like more enjoyable, because or like sit down and play the original Mario Brothers Wii. Like play something like that. Don't.
Yeah.
Wonder is just definitely not it for me.
Yeah, I want to make it clear. I don't think Mario Wonder is a bad game by any means. I just don't
I do.
think it's, you know, Metacritic says it's a 92 out of 100. Uh, you know,
A
it,
92.
it got it got nominated for game of the year, and people have been saying it's one of the best Mario games of all time. I do not see that personally. I just
No.
cannot wrap my head around that whatsoever. But I don't think
Odyssey
it's
still
bad.
holds that for me.
Right, exactly. Um, but anyway, so let's go ahead and 2023 is in the past. It was a great year, great year. But let's start talking about this year, 2024 anticipated games. So I have a little fun thing we're gonna do for this. Instead of just listing off a list, we're gonna do a couple categories. Okay, so I got four
Alrighty.
categories here. The obvious, most anticipated, biggest surprises, biggest supporters, and games that you would like to see release in 2024 that aren't yet confirmed. So I'll just go and start. My two obvious ones that are my most anticipated games that are obviously I would like if I could predict. Right, I don't like predicting because games, the quality is to be determined until release. Do not judge quality until release, right? But if I had to predict what games would be in my game of the year conversation, my two obvious ones are FF7 Rebirth and
For sure.
Hellblade 2. Those are my two that I obviously am anticipated for, and would make a lot of sense to be near my top of the games of the year, just because FF7 Remake is already in my top 20. And then Hellblade 2 or Hellblade 1 is one of my favorite indie games, as well as this is like one of Xbox's biggest games apart from like Starfield, which I think it's going to be better than Starfield. So,
Yeah.
So those are my two
Hopefully.
obvious ones. What are your obvious ones? You can have two if you want. Or you can just do
My
one.
obvious ones.
You can also do FF7 if you want. You can
It
also
is for
do-
FF7. I mean, like, kind of straight out the gate, FF7.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you know me, The Last Ronin. That's like,
Oh, dude.
I
Yeah.
mean, I've
Yes.
literally been so excited for that
Yes.
since like, I mean, since we saw the original trailer.
I ain't gonna lie,
Like,
bro. I think it's 3-player co-op. We should definitely run it. Low key.
mhm.
That would be so fun.
Yeah.
I'm super
But yeah,
excited.
no, I really can't wait to get my hands on that. I mean, it's March. It's not that far away.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, dude,
I mean,
love
what's
when
the
games do that.
22nd?
I love when games like do a big reveal and then it comes out in like 3, 4, or 5 months, so I don't have to like.
It's a way. It's a way to keep the hype up because
Right, it is.
I mean, you had Starfield, which was announced like what not announced 2 years ago, but was announced like with a cinematic trailer. Like we were still in high school, you know, and
Wait, what game?
we didn't get that
What
until
game?
Starfield,
Oh my God, yeah.
and then we didn't get that game until we were sophomores in college.
Actually, you want to know something wild?
What?
The original Starfield trailer was 2017, meaning we were in 8th grade.
That is well.
That
Heck,
is
we might not have
insane.
even been in 8th grade if depending on when it was made.
Might have been 7th.
We might have been in 7th grade.
Right. It came out before Infinity War.
That is insane, dude.
It's nuts. That is nuts. Uh,
Yeah, wow.
yeah.
I had a really horrible joke pop into my head, but I am just going to keep it to myself.
Yeah, please do. I
But
feel like I already know what you're gonna say.
yeah, yeah. Uh, but yeah. I mean, like, just Rise the. Oh my God, not Rise the Last Ronin.
No,
Is
Rise the
Rise Ronin?
Ronin. Yep, Rise the Ronin. Yep, that's
Yeah.
right.
I don't know, man. I am just so excited for
I
that. I
agree.
mean, it is. I mean, at the end of the day, it's gonna scratch that Sekiro itch that I always
Right.
have because I love Sekiro. Um, but man, it's just gonna be. I'm almost just certain it's gonna be crazy. If it's not, hey, I'll eat my words. Um, but I just think from what we've seen, I mean, okay, tell me that playing as a samurai who wields a revolver is not cool.
Dude,
Tell
yeah,
me that
yeah.
with a straight face. All right,
I
that is so cool.
yeah, it's
I mean, you
awesome.
had a. I mean, that's like what drew me to like try out like a dragon Ishin or whatever, however you
Oh
say
yeah,
it, because of the cover.
yeah,
Yeah, he wields a revolver. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Um, so yeah, definitely Rise of Ronin. Rise of the
yeah,
Ronin.
for sure.
Definitely my most obvious.
Okay, now the next category, biggest surprise. So like a game that you're excited for, or you're not sure if you're gonna love it, but you could see it end up being one of your favorites depending on how it lands. So like a game, for me as an example, it is. And granted, I made this list before today. I made this list 3 days ago. Okay, so it's a little outdated now.
Yeah.
I had Prince of Persia or
Okay.
Visions of Mana. So
Okay.
Visions of Mana was announced at the Game Awards. It was the Square Enix JRPG that I thought was Dragon Quest, ended up being Visions of Mana, and
Still, I just don't. Yeah. Continue. Sorry.
and for some reason, dude, I have it with so many games. This is the same way with Immortals Phoenix Rising. This was the same way with Midnight Suns. A trailer, a art style, a cover art, a logo, a certain character, a certain specific thing about a game gets me so hyped to the point where I rewatch a trailer over and over and over again. The more I think about it, the more I see it, the more I talk about it, the more excited I get for no reason. That game is happening to me again, where I don't know why. It's not like it is the obvious, like, oh yeah, that's my genre, or like, oh yeah, this is a game that would be my favorite. It's just a game that I thought looked really interesting, and now it just keeps on climbing and climbing. And that is that game for me. So I feel like I have to put it on biggest surprise because I could just see it becoming like a game that I love just because it looks so cool. And I know the Mana series is a very highly acclaimed series, so you know I'm kind of excited to jump into it because I've never played a Mana game, so that'll be kind of interesting. And then Prince of Persia, I've thought this game has looked phenomenal since the get go. Metroidvania is one of my favorite genres, easily, and I've never really gotten into Prince of Persia as a franchise. I dressed up as him for Halloween when I was really really young once. That's as
You
far
did
as I
not tell
go
me
with
that.
Prince of Persia. I did.
You have to. You
It
should
was,
pop up a
dude.
picture.
It's when I
You
lived on
should.
the west side, bro. We didn't even know each other
Oh, buddy, I didn't
when
even
I
know you when you lived on the west
dude,
side.
yeah, it was before we even knew each other. I dressed up as Prince of Persia when I want to say when I was like 5 or 6, dude. And
Probably because of the movie,
yeah, no,
the Jake Gyllenhaal
it
movie.
was. No,
Yeah.
I literally dressed up as the Jake Gyllenhaal Prince of Persia guy. That's
Interesting.
pretty much as far as my extent goes of Prince of Persia. Now, this list is a little bit outdated because of
I watched a documentary on it like a month ago.
oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
I watched a bunch of. It's this guy. I think it was the I finished a video game channel. Um, but like yeah, he does like these bunch of deep dives into video games and like how they're made and stuff. And he talked about Prince of Persia.
Interesting.
It's pretty cool. But continue.
Um, this list is a little bit outdated because the game comes out the 18th, meaning Thursday, right? And right, Thursday, I think so. I think that's
Yes.
yeah, Thursday.
It'd be Thursday because
Right.
the 16th is Tuesday.
Right.
And today is the 14th.
And the thing is, if you buy the digital deluxe edition, which is $10 more, you get 3 days early access. Meaning it comes out on the 14th. No,
Today.
comes out on the 15th. My bad. Comes out on the 15th.
Tomorrow.
Now the thing is, there's a little trick. If you buy a game digitally on Xbox, and its release times are local, meaning midnight your time, so it'll have like a staggered release. Means you can switch your location and time to the latest part in the world, which is New Zealand, and around, I think, like noon our time would be the next day in New Zealand, which is wild. That's what I did, and I have played 5 hours of Prince of Persia today already. It is quite excellent. It is quite excellent. I am loving it. There's a lot of things I was not expecting that this game would have. We're going to talk about it more when we actually get to the Prince of Persia section, but this is a little bit outdated because it's no longer a surprise. It is now. I just love it. Yeah, that's that. So what are your two biggest? I will now replace that with Rise of the Ronin. I will now replace that was in third place, but I decided to go with those two because I figured you would have Rise of the Ronin. But now I will have Rise of the Ronin in biggest surprise.
So, okay, I really don't want to like expose myself here. Okay. So I'm gonna do three games.
Go ahead.
Most surprised. One is a re-release technically. Okay. I really am excited for The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. I'll be straight up. I'm actually really excited for that. Mostly because I mean it's gonna be optimized for PS5. That's what I play on. And I've never actually played Last of Us Part 2. I've only watched a playthrough of it. So I really do want to experience it myself. The 30 hours playing as Abby or whatever people complain about. I want to experience that by my lonesome. Number 2, Tekken 8. I did not think I was going to like it originally. Yeah. And we played the demo and I was like, this is actually incredibly fun.
Yeah.
I had a really good time playing it, and not just because I was with you, John, but because the game was actually fun and I could win at it.
Yeah. No, dude, like beat the thing on hard, like the hardest difficulty on his first go. Like it was it was. I mean, it was pretty fun. I had a lot of fun playing it. I definitely want to get my hands on some more characters because I was only able to play as like a couple. 2 weeks, bro. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
2 weeks. You come over. We'll play the heck out of it.
And then I want to say, I'm really excited for Nightingale.
Ooh, that's a good one.
But I don't know if it's gonna be fantastic or not. You know, like
it is early access. I think this year.
I want it. Yeah, exactly. So like my opinion on it is going to change anyways because it's not going to be full release day, but it's definitely one of those games where like I remember seeing it at I think it was Summer Games Fest. If I'm not mistaken.
Dude, that was shown like 2020.
No, it was the PC game. I think it was PC.
Dude, that game.
I think it was at the PC games
too. The game has been shown
but I mean like it was like a multiplayer game. I think with your friends, like where you travel to different dimensions or whatever.
The way I put it is Ark Survival Evolved fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, like I'm super excited for that just because there's so much in that game that I kind of I don't know, it's just something about that game. I don't know if it's like the almost horror. It's not really horror, but like it has some of that like creepy aesthetic to it. And obviously Nightingale is like it's I don't know how to explain like it. I don't know. It has like a gothic like a
Mm,
gothic horror
yeah, I got you.
vibes to it. Um, like akin to Bloodborne.
Gotcha.
Um, like that like yes, pish posh, like I'm a British Victorian, but
Like
also
a
there are demons in my
Liza P
closet.
as well, right? Like
Yes,
Liza.
Liza
Yeah,
P.
yeah.
Well, no, that's more steampunk than it is anything else. Gothic is
I see.
Bloodborne.
Okay,
Gothic is Bloodborne.
I see what you're saying. I see.
But I definitely do see a bit of Liza P in there as well. Um, but yeah, no, I'm just excited for it. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it's only PC
Yeah, it's only PC right
right
now.
now.
I'm sure once
But
the
I
full
mean,
release happens, it'll be on
mhm,
console. But
yeah. But for right now, I mean, I'm super excited to sink my teeth into it because it looks fun.
yeah.
It's a first person game, and I love first person. So
Hey, now that I actually have a
uh,
PC that can run games, I might actually play PC games. So
yeah,
we'll
now that
see.
I went from 8 gigabytes of RAM to like 32 gigabytes of RAM. I
Right,
think
right,
I'll be able to play it in like 8K or some crap,
right.
like.
All right,
So yeah, no, I'm super excited about Nightingale.
awesome. All right, our next category is biggest supporter. So a game that you are rooting for to do incredibly well, to blow up, to just stick the landing, and possibly, you know, be in like a game of the year conversation or favorite game of the year conversation. So my two are. See, I really wanted to put three. You know what? You did three last time. I'm gonna put three as well. My three are Dragon's Dogma 2. All right.
Obviously.
So I th- I'm pretty confident this game is going to be great, and I know this game has a huge following, and I know a lot of people love the first one. The reason I put it here is because I want this game to be huge, right? Like the first one, people consider it like a cult following, right? Whereas I think it could be so much more than that, and I would love it to be so much more than that. Like I want it to be a mainstream series because it's that good, and I think the second one looks that good, and I'm so excited for it that I'm rooting for it to really just exceed expectations and just blow up and possibly maybe be in the game of the year conversation. Who knows? Not that it matters, but it would be cool. Um, Now the next two, I feel like are almost default. Everybody is rooting for these games just because of the unfortunate scenarios that these two games have gone through. First one being Stalker 2. Um, Unfortunately, it is a Ukrainian um,
Hmm.
based studio, meaning they have unfortunately gone through some terrible events that our hearts and prayers go out to,
Hmm.
and that we're so much looking forward to their games, but at the same time we want them take as much time and precaution as you guys need. But it is slated for this year. It actually has a quarter 1 release date, which is wild because we still haven't gotten an actual date. I think it's going to be later. I think it's going to get pushed back, which is perfectly okay. But I want this game to do great. Number one, because it looks awesome. It looks awesome. Every trailer we keep seeing, I think it just looks absolutely amazing. And number two, I know the first game is beloved. I've never played it, but I know it's beloved. And yeah, and I just think this game could be a really huge thing. Also, it's a third-party Xbox exclusive, which we don't get. Like, we get third-party Xbox exclusives, but not like big AAA caliber third-party exclusives as much. So it's kind of interesting to see that, and it'll be day one on Game Pass, which is really exciting. So yeah, I really hope this game just delivers. I really do. And the same thing goes for this other game called Replaced. I don't know if you remember this game, but it's like this 2D.
Vaguely.
It's this
Oh my
2D
gosh,
like
yeah, it was the train
pixelated.
one, right?
Yes, it's this 2D
Yes, the
pixelated
train one.
masterpiece looking of a game. It looks beautiful. I want to play this game so bad, and I think it's going to be so phenomenal. We have to hear about it. It's also a Ukrainian-based studio, so unfortunately, they've gone through some terrible events. But when that game comes out, I'm so excited, and I really hope it executes itself to what the trailers put it out to be because it looks great. and I mean, it's all if it's confirmed for this year, it is automatically one of my favorite art styles of the year. It just looks amazing. But yeah, those are my biggest supporter games.
Was that one or two?
That
Or
was
is that
three.
two or three?
That was three.
Was that three?
That was three. Dragon's Dogma, Stalker 2.
Yeah, Dragon
Outpost.
Dogma. You did Dragon's Dogma,
Yeah.
yeah. Biggest supporters. I definitely agree with your entire list, so I'm still gonna try to choose different ones though, because I definitely was thinking of Stalker 2
Yeah.
in my mind, but I really want man, I don't know. It's a studio that I don't know if you've ever heard of, but Princess Peach Showtime.
Oh, dude.
I really want. I'm kidding.
I'm not.
No. I'm more of a Daisy lady, but
Mid.
Alone in the Dark.
Oh yeah.
I really want that game to do well. I really want that game to do well. You know, I want it. It has David Harbour in it. Hopper from Stranger Things or Hellboy or that guy from the Gran Turismo movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
He wasn't it. Yes, it was pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I really want that to work just because. Again, it's that Alan Wake vibe, that like mystery horror. Yep. I mean, this one's more like Call of Cthulhu-esque in my opinion.
Right.
But I really want that to work, just because I feel like if it does, it'll definitely reinvigorate that. Like, I really want a good Cthulhu game. I know it'd be super hard to get one, but I really want a good Cthulhu Lovecraft game. That cosmic horror type beat. So like, so you have The Last Case of Benedict Fox, I think. That's Lovecraftian horror. You got Call of Cthulhu. You got The Sinking City. You got a bunch of different ones that are really good, but they lack in execution. And Alone in the Dark definitely gives me those vibes. I really want to succeed because I want to get a good one. Give it to me, please.
I have one for you if you want to use it, because I wanted to put it on here, but I can't have more than 3. That's just too much. Suicide Squad.
I am wanting that. Like I definitely am excited for that. And I'll play it. I don't know.
From what we've heard on previews, is that from what they've played, the gameplay is very mid, but the story is good.
That's kind of what I've heard.
Right. Which, to me, while I would love to hear the gameplay being great, as long as the story is good, I'll somewhat be satisfied. Because at the end of the day, it is DC. So, as long as I can enjoy the DC aspects of it.
Yeah,
I won't be completely.
Yeah, exactly. Like as long as it, and plus, I mean, this is the last time we're ever gonna see Kevin Conroy as Batman.
Yeah, dude.
It's a huge thing. Love Kevin Conroy, and I'm very excited to see what they do with the Arkhamverse after this. The fact that this kind of confirms that Arkham all the way up to Arkham Knight is, all the way up to Arkham Knight, the Justice League was never formed.
Yeah.
So it was like after Arkham Knight, after Bruce Wayne had like faked his death or whatever, then it was established. And just like I like the Arkham world. I definitely think it's gritty, but it's good. And I'm very excited to see what they do with Harley Quinn. Because she's gonna be the character I play, obviously.
I'm King Shark and
I don't know.
Boomerang person. That's me, but.
Yeah, Captain Boomerang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did hear though that somebody got to play the Batman mission, and that it was terrifying. Like apparently, the mission is you are being hunted by Batman, and like you like have never felt so stressed and like imposed in like any like superhero game ever. Unlike that mission, which to me that sounds epic. Being hunted by Kevin Conroy's Batman, I will be running for my life.
Hmm.
So
Agreed.
lost.
It's definitely like I don't know. I've always been a proponent. Give me a horror movie that's centered around Batman,
Oh yeah,
but it's from the perspective of the criminals.
right.
It's
Like
like
I've
they're
said,
being hunted
everything
down
about
one by
Batman
one.
outside of Batman himself, I love.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
but
um,
yeah.
Number three, um, probably. In all honesty, there's two things I want to say, but Banishers Ghost of New Eden.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a
I
good
want
one.
that game to succeed. I just really I know the concept is just so weird. Like
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I'm loving the hold it has on me. Like it's again one of those things where it's like it's solely the vibes that attract me to this. It's the way it
Yeah.
looks, the way the story seems to be with like the main character and his dead wife. Like I think I think this game has the material to make me cry. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
super excited actually.
so yeah. Yeah, but Banisher's Ghost of New Eden are definitely a game that I hope works out because I mean it's I don't know. I'm hoping. I really am.
Yeah.
Because I mean we've already got I think they were getting I think we're even getting DLC for it too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
If
know.
I'm not
That's a good question.
mistaken.
I don't know. I haven't looked
I
into
think
that.
it's Love, Death, and Sacrifice, and then Death to the Dead. Um,
Oh, okay.
it might be. I don't remember though. It might be DLC or it might just be trailers. I just remember hearing something about that. Like it's not a not set in stone, I guess. But
I agree with
but
you.
yeah.
I think the whole look of the game is so appealing. Like
Hmm.
it really
I don't know if you could
is.
tell, but I'm a huge fan of the mystery. Those that like
I just love
fight.
dark. Like
Yeah, the
anything dark,
dark
Loki is just
dark fantasy. That kind of beat.
dark is best.
Yeah.
uh,
Um, but continue.
no, I mean I was just gonna move on to the next category unless you have one
Yeah.
more.
No, that's it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, other than Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash, the
Oh yeah.
JJK fighting game, but I don't think that's gonna be good. I want it to be, but I don't think it's gonna be because it's a Bandai Namco game.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think it's gonna be good enough that me and Michael could beat each other up on it every day.
All
That's
right.
we've literally both come to the conclusion that one of us is gonna buy it, and like we're gonna have to fight each other.
Okay. So
Since we're game shared.
this next category, this one's a little tricky because you can literally basically say whatever you want as long as it doesn't have an official 2024 release date. Okay. So
Hmm.
games to make 2024. So they don't have a release date. Games that you would like to see released this year. One of these we are going to be talking about later. And the only reason I have it in my list is because of the thing we're going to be talking about later. The first one is Indiana Jones.
Did we get a name for that?
Sort of. It got leaked. It's not confirmed, but it pretty much got leaked. And it's called Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Can't wait to see Indiana Jones walk up and be like,
Dude.
"That's a great circle," and
Dude.
then the game ends.
I'm not the
Like
biggest fan of the name, I'll be honest with you.
that's such a dumb name.
It's
I
kind of
mean,
lame. Like,
I mean, yeah. I mean, you have what? You have
Raiders of the Lost
Raiders
Ark.
of the Lost Ark, one of the most iconic names of all time.
Right.
You have Temple of Doom. You
Yeah.
have the Lost Crusade. You
Yeah.
have
The Great
um
Circle.
yeah, and then you have like the Dial of Destiny and
Right.
all of this, and it's like, well, yeah, I did the Great Circle.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like,
I'm
what
not
does
a
that
big fan
mean?
of the
What does
name,
that
but
mean?
it is what it is. But yeah, we're gonna talk about Indiana Jones later, but it's looking like that might be 2024. And then my next one that I really do hope makes this year, just because I want more of its genre, especially after last year being, in my opinion, probably one of the best genres of last year. Silent Hill 2 remake.
Hmm.
please,
Understandable.
please make 2024. PlayStation did upload a little trailer recently of what's coming to PlayStation in 2024, and it actually was in there, which is weird because we haven't gotten a trailer in like over a year, and there was no release date, so it's kind of weird that PlayStation just like subtly was like, "Hey, it's coming," even though there's no confirmation of it. So who knows? It might not. I would love for it to because Bloober Team, the team behind the Medium, is so perfect for this franchise. You have no idea. Like, there is no better studio to make it. There is no better studio than Bloober Team.
I'm still mad that we got.
Silent Hill.
Still mad. I'm still mad. Could have had PT.
Oh,
PT.
dude.
That would have been good. But anyways, continue. Sorry.
But
I'll be
yeah,
salty. I'll be
no,
salty for the
Silent
rest of
Hill
my life.
2. I mean, I've never played the Silent Hill games.
You should, man. Silent Hill 2.
I know.
My biggest fear of this game is that my assumption of the game's gonna come true. It only works in the PS2 format. I'm super scared that it only works with the lower graphics because like it is something about the almost eeriness that it's like vaguely human but not human enough to be like it kind of almost tapping into that uncanny valley
I see what
effect
you're
that some
saying.
people have where
I
it's
see what you're
like
saying.
they get terrified of things that look human but aren't human. And
I
you know,
see.
and I think Silent Hill 2 is chock full of that, and I'm super scared that it's gonna be like it doesn't translate well over into newer graphics. But obviously we've been proven wrong by Resi 2 through 4 remakes. Um so
Yeah.
I'm hoping. But I'm definitely gonna play it, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm
But
gonna
yeah,
play the heck out of it.
those are my two games that I hope make 2024. There's a bunch of other ones, but we could be here for hours. So I'm just
Yeah.
those are my two. Do you have any?
No. I'm kidding. I So one that I don't know if it's been announced for this year or not. I could be wrong. If not, I'll choose another. Or if it is, I'll choose another one. Uh, Avowed. I really
It
want to see
is.
Avowed.
It is confirmed
Is
for
it confirmed for this
2024. We
year?
don't have a release
All
date,
right.
but it was given a 2024 number. Like it was given
Ah,
2024 at the end of the
dang.
last trailer.
Okay, well, I'll just go on with my second one right now, and then I'll think of one. Um, Hades 2. I gotta get
Okay.
me some Hades 2, man. Hades 2. I mean, it's been 4 years now, I think, since Hades 1.
2020, yeah. 2020.
Yeah, about 4 years since Hades 1. And I mean we got the trailer. It was
I will
announced
say
I think back in December of 2022.
I think on PC the early access is going to start this year, but I don't think that's even confirmed. They just
I think we
said,
have a date for early access, but
yeah, but
um
it's a little different, so I'll allow it.
yeah, but I really want Hades 2. Um but yeah, I mean like I've
I'll
looked
just go ahead and throw your second one out there. I'm surprised that wasn't the one you instantly said,
Hollow
but
Knight Soak Song.
yeah, yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
no, literally like that was about what I was about to say is like Hollow Knight Silk Song. I had been playing Hollow Knight right before the new year and everything, and for kind of re got I guess reinvigorated that love I had for it for a little bit, and I still love it, and I'm super excited to see Silk Song. I want to get my hands on it. I want to
Yeah.
play it. I definitely it's gonna be a game I put like 10 hours into like a month and then be like I'm done. I can't play this anymore. I'm gonna rip my hair out.
I'm really
um
hoping that comes out this year as well because I'll
and
take
plus
all the
and plus
Metroidvania I can get, dude. I'll take all of it. Give me it
and
all.
plus knowing like Hornet, the main character of Silk Song, knowing her and like actually fighting her in the Hollow Knight 1, because you fought her twice in Hollow Knight 1. Uh and I mean I loved the way she played in that, if that makes sense. I loved her move set and everything.
Yeah.
Compared to like the nail that like the the ghost, I think is his name, Ghost had. Uh she has like this needle on a string, and so it's like the combinations you can do with that are insane. I can't wait for it. But yeah, that's my that's those are my anticipated games that we don't have a release date for
Alrighty.
yet.
And of course, we're gonna talk about games coming out all year long. So if we missed any, we're gonna touch on it eventually. I mean, surely
Yeah.
it's just inevitable. But then now let's go ahead and talk about the first game that did release this year, which is technically now available. You are technically able to purchase and play right now if you wanted to. So we're gonna officially talk about it. I'm not gonna talk too much spoilers or anything, just because it is like really new. Like technically, I'm playing it early, but like early, earlier than early access. So it's kind of weird. But Prince of Persia and the Lost Crown. Um, see, I I don't know how I want to talk about this because I'm only 5 hours in and I just started and it's just the beginning of the year. Um, it's gonna be really hard for another game to beat it. um,
Hmm.
it it is already exceeded my expectations tenfold. Um,
Hmm.
if you had to guess what my three favorite parts of the game are, what would you say would be the top three?
It's probably story, gameplay, and music. One
Okay.
second. My dog. My dog just came up to my door and started coughing. Um, but yeah, probably story, gameplay, and music.
Okay.
That is
You
that's
got
the
ooh, see that's a little tricky because my three that I was gonna say is number one, the animation in this
mm,
game is holy smokes. I just in the first 5 hours, I have had so many like, what am I watching? This is insane. Like, this is like, I know this is a really weird comparison, but when we watched Across the Spider Verse and afterwards we were just like, you can just tell they loved every second of every frame making this movie, and they put so much passion into every frame in this movie. That is exactly how I feel with this game. Dude, not even just boss fights. Anytime you do a perfect parry, there's this epic animation that happens, and it's different every time. And it is just the definition of holy crap, that is awesome. It makes you so satisfied. It is unreal. I absolutely love the look of the game. And it doesn't even have the best graphics, or it's not like super realistic. It honestly kind of looks like a 360 game. But it doesn't matter because everything moves so smoothly and the animations are done. It low key could be classified as an anime. Low key. Like there are so many anime-esque things in this game that I was like, this is just bonkers. This is bonkers. It is insane. Now the second thing, you kind of said it. You said gameplay. I'm gonna specify more the combat specifically. It is so complex. It is actually so complex. Like it's like Smash Bros. You have to like aim in directions to attack, and you do like you could literally have. I've seen videos of people doing 40 hit combos in a Metroidvania. How did like that's insane. That like I can't recall any other Metroidvania that's had combat like that where you can literally just come up with like 40 hit combos. That's ridiculous. And it's just so satisfying. It's so fun. And then number three, I'm like tied between either the platforming in the game, or you also said it, the music is also really really good.
I like assumed I really did. I assumed that uh that music would be one of your top parts of that game.
Yeah.
Like just just knowing you, I'll be honest. I kind of guessed it just
Yeah.
from the way I know you are with games. You love music, and just that probably would be your favorite part.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I love it so far, especially like just the whole main menu. I was just jamming out for like 15 minutes before actually starting the game because it was it was a fire song. Um, I will say my least favorite part of the game so far is actually the story.
Really?
But I'm only like 5 hours in, and supposedly it's like a 30-hour game, and I
Hmm.
see where I just got to the point where like the big bad shows up. So now I'm kind of seeing where it's going, but for the first start, it was kind of just a very simple plot. Like it was a very simple plot. But now I see where it's going, so I'm curious to see where it's going. Um I so but yeah, I'm only 5. Oh my god. I knocked my mic over. I'm only 5 hours in. So a lot can change, but I am absolutely loving it so far. Absolutely loving it. I don't care that it's only the first game of the year. It's my game of the year. it's my it's my
Understandable.
it's my game of the year right now. As the first game of the year, it is my game of the year, right? Um,
Hey, it's the best, but also the worst game you played this year.
exactly, literally. Um, But even outside of mine, it is doing incredibly well in terms of reviews and critics and everything. It does have like an 87 on Metacritic at the time of, or no, I think it dropped down to 86, but that's still really good. So yeah, I will say, outside of Immortals: Phoenix Rising, this is probably the best Ubisoft game in a long time since maybe Valhalla.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so
Were you saying
because
that
like
just for me, or were you saying that
no
just
no
because
no
you
no no
actually?
I think no
Okay.
I think Valhalla is probably like I mean, do I like Prince of Persia more? Who knows? I don't know, but
Yeah.
like we'll see. But I think like generally speaking, while we both love Immortals: Phoenix Rising, while I think it's like the most underrated game of all time, it wasn't universally praised, right? So I do think that this is
Um,
probably the better game, but we're not we don't we don't really like talking objectively about games. It's just
no,
I
it's
don't
because
really
it's our
think that's
opinion.
right. I don't really think that's how games should work. Unfortunately, it is how a lot of the media works, but for me at least, I since Immortals: Phoenix Rising, this has been my favorite Ubisoft game.
I
We
definitely can agree with the Morse Phoenix Rising. Like, I definitely think that's probably what my other than Valhalla, probably my favorite Ubisoft game for a very long time.
yeah. I mean, which is funny. I said the same thing about Avatar. I was like, this is the best Ubisoft game since Immortals: Phoenix Rising, which is true. That hasn't changed, but at the same time, Ubisoft has kind of been putting out a lot of sevens and like sixes in my opinions for a long time, and like Avatar was like an 8,
I had
so
a
I was
lack of
like
video games.
best Ubisoft game in a long time. It got an 8. That's wild. But like this game is like if it drops below a 9, I'd be shocked because I love it so much so far. But and I've heard it just gets better and better, like most Metroidvanias, which is awesome. Which is why I love Metroidvanias. Like I don't feel like any Metroidvania gets worse. It just gets better. So we'll see. Um, but yeah, what are your expectations? Are you even gonna play it?
Uh,
Is the other question.
if I do, it definitely won't be anytime soon. Um,
Fair enough.
just because like I don't know. I guess I just don't really have an interest in Prince of Persia. It looks cool.
Fair
The
enough.
art style is cool. I just do not have a I just don't have an interest in that game right now. It's just definitely not what I want to do right now.
Yeah.
Um I have a lot more stuff I want to fill my time with, Baldur's Gate 3. Um and
Until
I
Tekken
think
8 comes
Prince of
out.
Persia, yeah, until Tekken 8 comes out, we'll be playing that bad boy. And I actually probably will give Last of Us Part 2 a try whenever it comes out remastered. Um but yeah, no, I mean, it's just not a game that I really think clicks with me yet. I just don't
Yep.
think I've once I get my hands on it like a little bit, I might come over and play it on your Xbox and see if I like it, and I'll buy it. But just right now, it is just not one of my anticipated games. It looks good.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
mean, it's just not my.
Like I said
Not
earlier,
my.
is like I've never really cared about the Prince of Persia franchise. Like I said, I just up him for Halloween. That's about it. But like, yeah, if this game was not a Metroidvania, I probably wouldn't be anywhere near as interested as I was. And luckily it was a Metroidvania, and I did give it a try, and here we are. So, but yeah, no, that is perfectly okay, ladies and gentlemen. Just so y'all know, if you like video games, that does not mean you have to like everything or want to play everything. All right, Christian is a perfect example. He has other things he's gonna play. He has other things he wants to play, and there it is. That's why there's people in the world. There are people who want to play a game, and there are people who don't. You can talk to people who do, or you don't. It's up to you. It's a whole choice. Enjoy what you want to do. Play your way, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it works. Do you know what a lot of people want to play?
The Switch 2?
The Switch 2. That was perfect. Good job. Great
I can get
job.
onto the vibes.
This is that is great. The Switch 2. That is right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be starting the Switch 2 conversation, which I feel like I may have touched on a little bit in the last podcast. But first question. When do you think that this thing's coming out?
I think it's going to come out for the holiday season. I am not dumb. I know Nintendo. I know Nintendo. I know them, sadly, and I know for a fact they're definitely going to be like, it comes out like quarter 3 or 4, either one of the two.
Yeah,
definitely probably quarter 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I personally, if I had to put my money on a day or on a month, it would be September, in my opinion. I think,
Yeah, it was like that August to November time frame for me.
yeah.
Because September, I mean, because in all honesty, I think we're gonna have to get another big Switch game revealed before Switch 2, I think, gets revealed like fully.
I think, well, we're definitely going to have a direct here in February. We always have a February direct. So I feel like if there is going to be a game, it's going to be there. I'm actually I think whatever this next direct is, it's going to be, I think it's going to be awesome. Because I think we're going to get the new Switch reveal, plus the remainder of the games coming out on the Switch at this show.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be really huge. Now, here's what I will say. And I think, look, I've made my prediction, but we're going to talk about it and what you think about it. But first, before we get into that, what do you think it's going to be? Like, do you think it is going to be the Switch 2, or do you think it's going to be something different, or do you think it's just going to be kind of like an upgrade, or do you think they're going to add a new gimmick? Like, what do you think the hardware is actually going to be?
Garbage.
Wow.
I don't have any faith in the actual specs. I'll be honest with you, man. I know Nintendo. I played. I didn't get the Switch day one or anything. I'm just not the way I kind of handled it. I got it during quarantine, but I played. I stress tested that thing. I mean, like, I got it. I think my mom bought it for me because, like, what I was like, shoot. I was like 16, I think. I was either I think I was 15. I think I was 15. My mom bought it for me. She's like, "Here you go." And then like we got locked down, so I beat Breath of the Wild, I beat Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, like I beat Cadence of Hyrule. But like I played a bunch of games on that, and like having an Xbox One and a PS4 at that time, I mean, it was leagues ahead of it then, and now it's like we're not even the same solar system as like the Switch.
Yeah.
The only thing that's really kept it up was like we got extended battery life in like the V2 of the Switch at some point, and then we got the OLED
in the light
in the Switch Lite.
So
I think I see now if the original Switch specs if we got the Lite originally, that makes so much more sense. Because the specs for the Lite being the same as the specs for the original Switch, but you just have a little bit less battery life and you cannot connect to the TV, just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like at all. Do I think the Switch Lite is cute? Yes. Oh my god, I love the colors. Like I want a yellow one. I have the Zelda Switch and I want a yellow Switch Lite, you know? But it's just the Switch 2, I just don't think I don't know. I'm hoping. I am
So, do
hoping,
you
but
actually
I
think
just
it's going to be a Switch 2?
no. I think I I'm almost curious if we're gonna get back to separate consoles.
Ooh, so you think they're gonna go handheld and a home console?
I'm wondering. I'm
Ooh,
wondering if we're gonna do
interesting.
that
Interesting.
because they phased out the DS I mean, decade ago at this point. Um, and like it's kind of crazy because I mean they were known for a handheld and home console. You had the DS with the Wii. You
Yeah.
had the Game Boy with the SNES, or the NES, and then you had like the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance with the SNES, and like the 64. Like
I
the
think that
fact
was
that
with
they
the
merged
N64.
them,
Yeah, I think yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The fact that they merged them, you know, I don't know. I guess
It was cool. Like I definitely yeah, I definitely agree like having
I love my
the two
Switch.
consoles is so neat. Like
Hmm.
it just makes Nintendo so different. At the same, I don't know if they would do that just because of the amount of success they've had with the Switch,
Hmm.
right?
No,
Like
I agree.
I think now it's the third highest selling console of all time,
Hmm.
right?
Which
So
was, I think we is not no longer is we still the top?
nah, the Switch passed that. The
Okay, switch
only
past it.
thing the Switch has not passed, I do believe, is the Game Boy.
It makes sense.
I think,
But
or
I
the
mean,
DS, one of the two. I don't know.
I don't know. We've got a bunch of rumors. I mean, there's okay, the Switch 2 is just a rumor mill.
Yeah,
Um,
it is.
because I mean, I've heard the dual screens. I've heard
Oh yeah,
everything. I'm hoping that the specs have something. I'm hoping for 4K on TV.
yeah,
I'm hoping for 4K 60 FPS on
yeah.
TV. I want it so bad.
Well, I think
I don't
TV has
care
60 frames. I don't think the handheld does though, which is what a lot of people want.
because I want to be able to play my Legend of Zelda games in that crispy quality, man.
Yeah.
I want to be able to play all this stuff in
What?
that. And I
Go ahead.
also hope that the Switch games are interchangeable. Because you remember
So
how
like
like in the D,
backwards compatible?
yes, you have like the DS going on to the 3DS.
Yeah.
I want there to be an option that I can plug the Switch cartridges into because they stopped that with the Switch.
Yeah.
Because you used to be able to with the Wii U stopped it with the no they had the Wii because there's Wii and Wii U games were interchangeable for the Wii U. Wii U you could play GameCube and Wii games,
Hmm.
um, and so on and so forth. So yeah,
Yeah,
I hope they're interchangeable.
yeah, no, my whole thing, right? I personally not even just my like this is me being like just okay with it. Like my dream scenario with Nintendo's next console is honestly a 4K stable 60 frames per second in docked and handheld mode. Not 4K in handheld. That's almost impossible.
It'd be cool though.
It would be cool, but stable 60 frames in handheld and docked, 4K in dock, improved battery life, all that stuff. Maybe some improvements, just general improvements. Just up the specs. And the biggest thing for me This is the biggest thing. If I don't care what the hardware is, if it does not have this, I'm upset. It has to have backwards compatibility.
Agreed.
I think it
Well,
just has to.
I mean, we've been stuck in this point of gaming from like a bunch of different angles that like a bunch of these not masterpieces but cult classics you have to emulate because you
Yeah.
can't play them anymore. I mean, you have this is not a Nintendo game, but Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I mean, there were so little copies of that. Like, and it's stuck on the PS3. I mean, you have to emulate it on a computer to play. Same with like Twilight Princess, one of the better Legend of Zelda games. Obviously one of my favorite Legend of Zelda games. I think it is my favorite, if I'm not mistaken. Going back to my list, but we're caught with that. You have a bunch of the original Pokemon games you can't play anymore because of the fact that who has a DS from when they were a
Who
kid?
has a Game Boy? Right?
You know? Who has a Game Boy? I mean, I do, but
Yeah.
who has a Game Boy?
A lot of people actually do.
Like I want to be able to play all these games that I used to be able to as a kid, but I don't have to download 17 different, softwares just to be able to run it on my computer.
Right.
Like I want to be able to have that nostalgia of holding it in my hand or playing it on the TV even.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, like the Switch's library, in my opinion, is I personally believe the Switch's library is the best library any console has ever had. Like, now, that being said, is it my personal favorite library? No, but that's just because I had a Wii and N64, but like I'm a newer Nintendo fan, I guess. Like I really got into Nintendo during the Switch, right? Like that's now like how I'm the Switch fan now. And so when you look at it, the amount of games that are on this console, you could literally play almost every Nintendo franchise on this console. There is at least one entry of every franchise on this console, whether it's F-Zero being F-Zero 99, whether it's Virtual Boy through their expansion pack, you could play like Golden Sun now, whether it's Smash Brothers, whether it's Mario, whether it's Zelda. Every franchise at least has one entry on it. And that was a big problem with the Wii U and the Wii, is that there were so many things that weren't on that console. And not only does the Switch have Wii and almost every single Wii U game on there, but it has all those Game Boy N64 games, and it has all the Switch games, and it has things from GameCube, and it has things from just everything. It is the ultimate Nintendo library. Like, it is. Like, yeah, you can go to Nintendo 64 for specific games, Ocarina of Time, Mario 64.
Majora's Mask.
Right. Majora's Mask. You can go there.
A couple of the Mario parties are on there and stuff too.
Right, exactly. You can go there for Pokemon Snap, right? You can go to N64 for very specific things, but you are not going there for every Nintendo franchise. You can go to the Wii to play Mario Galaxy. You can go to the Wii to play like WarioWare Smooth Moves, Wario Land, all these weird things, but you're not going to the Wii to play every Nintendo franchise. You get the picture. Every console has its specific games that you're like, yes, this is why I played that console. Whereas the Switch, I know you are a little different. You pretty much only like Zelda and like Pokemon and stuff. But generally speaking, if you look at all the highest selling games on the Switch, it is from franchises across their entire company. Not only that, but they have a lot of series where they have the first and second one, like Pikmin. They have the entire Pikmin franchise on the Nintendo Switch, and Pikmin 4 smashed all of the numbers from the previous three, because all the new entries in all the franchises have had the so-called Switch effect and have broken records and have become the highest selling, best game in the franchise. Therefore, if you do not allow backwards compatibility from this ultimate library that Nintendo has curated, it is going to be the biggest waste. Because what's going to happen, take this library we currently have, give it 7 and 8 more years to cook. that is going to be an unstoppable, unbeatable library from any company ever. That is literally insane to think about. Give this current library 7-8 more years to get more games. That's insane. It has to have backwards compatibility.
Mhm.
I think if it doesn't, like, I'm still gonna buy it, but I'm gonna be so upset. I'm gonna be so upset, so disappointed. But yeah, it is what it is.
I'm hoping that the backwards compatibility is a thing, but I'm thinking this is just gonna be more of a reason for them to sell remasters.
Yeah, that's another sad thing is, unfortunately, Nintendo, I could see them just not doing it. Like, I could just see them switching it completely up and making this whole new weird thing that is just starts back from square one. And I hate the thought of that, but it is what it is. Okay, I did want to talk about one more thing, but I think we're gonna skip that just because we're running a little bit on time about the Switch. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about the thing that we have to talk about. If we go a little bit over hour and a half, that'll be okay. But I really don't want to. The Xbox Developer Direct.
Hmm.
That is happening this Thursday. It was finally announced. It has been rumored for a while. People have been speculating if they would do another one after the huge success of last year's. I'm super glad they are. I really love this format. I think this is a great idea. And yeah, not only did they finally announce it, which is happening January 18th, it looks awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting 4 showcases of 4 first-party games releasing, well, not confirmed, but that are going to be coming out on Xbox day one on Game Pass. Number 1, the obvious one that everyone knew would probably be there, is Hellblade 2. The second one, we have Avowed. And number 3, we have Our History Untold, which that one, it's not all that exciting, but it's there. But the fourth one, which is the mind shocker, the bombshell, like almost no one expected this to be here. Indiana Jones is going to be at this
The
show
Great Circle.
in the the Great Circle. To me, 3 out of 4 of those games are all top 10 anticipated games of the year caliber.
And then there's Indiana.
What?
I said, and then there's Indiana.
Yeah, right. No, but like, okay, let's gonna go ahead and go through this. Our History Untold. It's being developed by the Civ 6 Studios, Civilization 6. It's like a third-party exclusive, technically, but I think it's like a second-party thing. They like partnered up. It's Games Publishing, Xbox. I'm not super excited about this just because I'm not a big fan of those type of strategy games, those real-time strategy games. It's just not my type of thing. Actually, I don't even think it's real-time. It's just strategy. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those games, but it looks neat. And for people who love the genres, I'm sure it'll be a great game. So there's that. Now, the 3 we got to talk about here is Hellblade, Avowed, and Indiana Jones. So the first one is Hellblade 2. That's the one we've seen the most of. We just literally got a brand new trailer at the Game Awards showing off some of the combat, some of the gameplay. The thing we did not get, which shocked me at the Game Awards, was a release date. It did get a 2024 date, but not an official date. So I think 100% we are getting a official release date for this game. And my prediction is the first half of the year. That is my prediction. I do think it will be April, May, June. It will be one of those 3. It'll be quarter 2, 2024. I think that is what I'm going with.
I definitely could see that. Because, like, I don't know. It's almost surprising that we haven't got a release date yet.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting, Hellblade 2 is the first ever announced Xbox Series X game. Can you believe that? Back in 2019, it was announced alongside the Xbox Series X. They showed the Xbox Series X, and then they showed Hellblade 2 right right afterwards. It was the first
'Cause
ever announced game.
because wasn't it going making its rounds because it was isn't it Unreal Engine 5?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Like because that was whenever we first started getting looks at Unreal
yep.
Engine 5.
I mean, I
Because
truly do believe when this game comes out, it will be one of, if not the best looking game to date in terms
yeah,
of like
but I mean
animation
you
and
can
face capture and all that stuff.
honestly you can say that about a lot of games,
Right.
but I mean if you all remember that that not that meme but like that set of photos that was going around where it was this room that was modeled in Unreal Engine 5.
Oh yeah,
Um, and it was like hyper realistic,
yeah,
like literally like dang near OD level of hyper realism.
yeah.
And they made a comment like that's what Hellblade 2 is gonna be made in. Like, so the fact that that's gonna be that is insane,
And
you
just
know. So
everything
like,
we've seen of the game just looks incredible. Like, just all the visuals is just insane. Um, Now that being said, this is what I really want to see out of this game in the direct. I want to see an actual gameplay sequence with combat. I want to see an actual gameplay sequence with combat because the combat is the weakest part of the first game, and that is the thing we've seen the least of in this game. Um, and outside of that, I just want a release date. If we just get those two things, I'll be happy.
mhm.
Do you want anything
I
specific?
definitely the game.
Perfect.
No, I kind of agree because I mean, we specific, like you said, we specifically haven't got gameplay of it yet,
Right.
but we kind of did in the trailer that was at the Game
I
Awards,
mean, yeah, no,
kind of
no, like the
vaguely.
entire trailer at the Game Awards was gameplay, but it was like snippets of like her just
Mhm.
walking in a bunch of different areas, and then she did show a little bit of combat swinging at enemies, but again, it was just snippets. It wasn't like it didn't give us a full picture of how we would actually be playing or like how the combat actually
Yeah.
works. It was kind of just showing the visuals of the combat. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah,
Yeah, and like I definitely agree because I've actually never played Hellblade 1. You know,
okay.
I should
I'm
go
I'm gonna
through and
say it
play it.
right now. It is a 5 to 6 hour game. It is an easy, just sit down 1 week and beat it. It is an easy playthrough. You can probably even do it in one sitting because it's really really good. So you probably will get hooked. It is a phenomenal game. It is a phenomenal game. Just play through it, and yeah, you will be so hyped for the sequel. I'm telling you right now, it is gonna be so good.
Mhm. Yeah, I definitely want to play it. I just have not. I just haven't sat down and done it yet. I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess that's probably one of the games I will do here soon. But yeah, I want gameplay. I just want. I don't know.
I
I
just want the
almost want more.
game. I just want the
Yeah,
game.
I want more. I want more. A couple more trailers to be released.
Yeah.
Get a more in-depth look of what the game's gonna look like.
So,
Because it's supposed to be twice as long, right?
we don't know. Personally,
Mm,
personally,
like it has to be.
I don't. It definitely has to be longer because the first one was definitely on a small budget and it was definitely like I just said, it was like a 5 to 6 hour completion. I don't think they need to go like 20 hours, but I think
No, but like 10, maybe
at
15.
least going to 10 I think is right just because for how long we've waited and for how much they've been hyping it up and for how great it looks, I feel like a shorter experience will kind of be a little bit underwhelming. Um, but at the
I
same time,
mean,
I do not want it to be bloated or I do not want it to feel
no.
dragging on because it is a slower paced game. So the longer it goes, I feel like the more it will feel like it drags on. So
Yeah, I think Hellblade. You definitely. It was a very much of like what I know. It's a very much of a build up. Like it's a
yeah,
build up kind of
yeah,
game.
it
Like you
is.
now that it is built up and you kind of have experienced the world and everything. Like I wonder if with the new game you can definitely like
Yeah.
maybe try and possibly like go balls deep into action. Like,
Yeah, no,
you know,
I completely agree. Like, no, I completely 100% agree with that. Like, the first game really is just like a introduction to this world. Um, but back then when they made the game, they probably never even knew they would make a sequel because it was on such low budget with such a small team. They were in indie at the time. And now the fact that they've introduced everybody and everybody knows what's up, now they can kind of just go crazy with it. But at the same time, I don't think they need to go overly crazy to where it's not the same magic that the original has. Because part of what makes the original so special is just its vibe and the way it tells its story and the things you're able to do in it. If you overflow that with so many new things, you're gonna lose some of that magic. And so yeah, that's just how I feel about Hellblade 2. I'm super excited, and I just want to know when it's coming out. That's really
agreed.
I just want to know when, and it's day one on Game Pass, ladies and gentlemen. Next one, this one you can definitely talk about a lot. Avowed.
Super excited for that game.
So, here, by the way, we're gonna go back just 1 second. On the official website of the Xbox Developer Direct, it says for Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, Ninja Theory takes us behind the scenes at their studio in Cambridge to give us some insight on how they are crafting Senua's Saga's Hellblade 2. The team will speak to the ambition and meticulous care meticulous care involved in creating Senua's journey of survival. So that's the description that they gave of that game. For Avowed, it says the team at Obsidian will share the first deep dive into the gameplay experience fans can expect in Avowed, their upcoming fantasy action RPG set in the fantastical, vibrant living lands. Learn more about how Obsidian's expertise in building worlds with deep themes, dynamic gameplay, and thoughtful reactivity come to life in Avowed, where players will have agency to make choices to shape every step of their adventure. I am hyped. I am hyped.
That'll be pretty fun.
That was the big thing when they first showed this game. It was 2020 Xbox showcase, and it was a show where they just revealed so many trailers without any kind of gameplay. It was Fable, State of Decay 3, Stalker 2, Avowed, Forza Motorsport. It was just that show where they literally just threw up so many titles and so many logos to try and get people hyped. And then it took us last year is the first time we actually saw Avowed, and they completely changed the art style. And everybody was kind of thrown off completely, like, oh, that's Avowed. Interesting. But now that it's been a year, I think everybody's kind of like, okay, I see what they're going for. It wasn't what we originally thought because they completely changed the art style. Now I really want to see more, and we are finally about to get this. We are getting a deep dive into gameplay. I'm super excited.
Yeah, like I said, just want to get my hands on it.
Like, I mean, it looks like there's melee combat. It looks like there's ranged weapons. Like, I even think I saw guns in the trailer, I think. And then there's magic, so sorcery. So it seems awesome. It seems really awesome. And, I mean, it's very colorful. And let's just be honest. It's Obsidian. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Obsidian made my favorite Fallout game, you know?
Right.
Like, if Obsidian made Outer Worlds, you know, they made Grounded. Like, they have a passion and a knack for this stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, it seems to be a dark fantasy. Like, not like dark as in, like, dark and gritty, but, like, that, like, kind of almost, like, I don't even know how to put it, really. That,
Dark
like...
magic?
Yeah, like it's not like dark and gritty, but like it's just a
witchcraft?
bit more like, yeah, kind of like a witchcrafty style of art style, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And like just knowing Obsidian's in it, I'm already sold. Right? Like if Obsidian is coming out with a new game, I am playing that new game. That's kind of just how some studios work. And Obsidian is one of those studios, and luckily the game looks quite interesting, and it's a genre that I typically enjoy. So, yeah, I'm really curious. Now, the question is here. What are we feeling for release date on this? The last time we got a trailer, it was 2024 confirmed. Now we don't have an actual date. So what are we feeling in terms of release date for this?
I definitely think. I mean, the last trailer we got, I think, was 7 months ago. From what it's looking like,
Yeah.
We're due for. I think we're due for it again. I'm. I'm thinking. I'm hoping they do what they did with that. What we got with Rise of Ronin, where it's like they release it or they confirm the release date, and it's like, hopefully it's first quarter,
We are,
if
yeah,
not
we are on the
second or
same
third.
page right now. We are on the same page. Yep. I think, personally, I think Hellblade and Avowed are all the first half. I really do. I really think they are both the first half of the year, and I think Avowed is quarter one, and I think Hellblade is quarter two. Because if we go back to interviews that Phil Spencer has had, he said that they want to get to a point where they're releasing a big AAA exclusive every quarter. And we know this year's stacked for Xbox. And so I think Avowed is quarter one, Hellblade is quarter two. I think another game is going to be quarter three. Do we know what game that is yet? I know we don't. My guess is going to be Forza Horizon 6. That's just my guess.
Huh.
Okay. And I think quarter four is the other game going to be at this show, Indiana Jones.
Yeah. I'm actually looking up right now. I'm sorry, I'm talking about Avowed,
Yeah,
but
go. No, continue, please.
apparently it's a prequel
Oh yes,
to
so
a game called
it is
Pillars of
yes,
Eternity.
it is set in the same universe as the Pillars of Eternity. That is right.
hmm
Yes,
Well,
that is correct.
I was watching the trailer and I'm like looking at the comments real quick and I was like, they keep mentioning that it's lore accurate, and I was
Yeah.
like, what is this? And then
Yeah.
I looked it up and I'm like, Pillars of Eternity. That's crazy.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I mean. Yeah, I'm hoping. Like you said, like a AAA game released every quarter. I mean, it has to be first or second quarter. There's no way
Yeah. I mean,
unless they
see, that's
shadow
the
drop
thing.
Hellblade 2 or something.
Yeah, that's the thing is the release dates are so interesting. Dude, we know so many Xbox games coming out this year.
Mhm.
Like it's
Compared
ridiculous,
to
and there is,
PS5.
oh my god, there's none. There's
Jesus
actually no
Christ.
first party things announced for PS5. It's ridiculous.
No,
Um,
no. And what we are getting are remasters
yeah, no,
or
oh yeah, that
sequels.
is the only first party thing of the year. Is Last of Us Part Two, but oh well.
Yeah.
But the release dates could really be flop. You really just kind of have to make a prediction and go with it. But like, I could low key see them doing Hellblade coming out in 2 months. Wild. Or I
Coming
could
out
even
in
see,
March.
right, and then I could see Avowed being like October or something, and I could see Indiana Jones being summer, right? I could see so many things, but I do think Indiana Jones will be 2024. Just because, here's the thing: every game they showed at last year's Xbox Developer Direct came out that year.
hmm
And that's kind of the whole premise of the event, is to showcase what's coming out and what Xbox fans can expect that respective year. I don't think you would put a game in a show in the first 2 weeks of a new year to get you excited for 3 years later. I just don't think that's what you do. That
No,
just
not at
doesn't
all.
seem right. And I think here's the thing: this game was announced back in 2020 or 2021. They were probably working on it at least a year, maybe 2 years, but before them, I think this game is ready. I think this game is ready, and I think it will come out this year. Indiana Jones.
hmm
Now, here's what they say on the website for Indiana Jones. Machine Games, the award-winning studio behind the recent Wolfenstein series, will reveal their upcoming Indiana Jones game, an action-adventure that puts players in the leather jacket of the legendary archaeologist. Developer Direct will showcase more than 10 minutes of game and developer insights, including details about the game's setting and story, how fans will actually play as Indy, additional details from his next globe-trotting adventure, and the premiere of the first gameplay trailer. Very exciting. Very exciting because, ladies and gentlemen, this is what everybody's been asking for from Xbox pretty much since Xbox One generation. Let's get a big AAA licensed IP exclusive. This is it. Like, granted, Indiana Jones is nowhere near the caliber of, like, Spider-Man or something.
No.
But this is still big.
Not at all.
But this is still big.
Yeah.
And this, depending how the gameplay is. Personally, I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. I think this is going to be first and third person. I think it's going to switch.
Really?
I do. Because number one,
that's an interesting
you cannot
take.
have an Indiana Jones game not be third person. Otherwise, you're not going to feel like you're actually playing Indiana Jones. Okay. Now, my second reasoning. Machine Games has almost made nothing but first-person games. Literally, They literally just said, the studio behind the award-winning Wolfenstein series, all first-person.
Yeah.
And the other thing, which I think is why it's going to be first and third person, is this thing says, including details about the game's setting and story, how fans will actually play as Indy. If it was just one or the other, it would just be like, we're going to show gameplay. Why is it something so specific as how fans will actually play as Indy? Like it's going to be some surprise or something, or like it's unexpected. Is because I think it's going to be very unique, and I think it's going to be third and first person.
I could see that. I definitely could see that, actually. I'll be straight up. That makes sense. Because I was actually, when we were talking about it earlier, like, whenever we had the conversation about the grid circle, I was like, how would that look? Because thinking about, like, would it be a more cinematic game, or would it be more of like a linear cinematic game, or would it be like a, first person?
Here's my prediction. This is my prediction. If I had to compare what I think this game is going to be like, I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I think it's going to be like an Uncharted and Tomb Raider. I mean,
like, no way. Yeah, it's not.
Like, I mean, I really do think so. But I think what's going to separate it is the fact that it is going to go first person as well, because those two games do not. So I think that's going to separate it. And here's the thing. Back to what I was just saying, how this is what Xbox fans have been wanting for forever. This is our Uncharted, guys. This is it. Whether you wanted a new IP or not, this is it. This is your Uncharted. This is your Tomb Raider.
Exactly.
And
well, we had Tomb Raider.
Right. And I don't know. This game is so interesting because I'm really not a big Indiana Jones fan. But I'm super excited to see what this game is going to be like. Like, I just really am excited. And, yeah, I don't know, man. And I really do think it's going to be 2024. It just makes sense. I do think this is almost for sure going to be second half of the year, but I could maybe see a summer, like a June, maybe. But I definitely think it's going to be second half of the year. I think it just makes a lot more sense. Now here's the last thing we're going to talk about. I know we went a little bit over, but here's the last thing we're going to talk about. We have to talk about the Xbox developer because by the time we do our next podcast, it'll be done. Last year, when they announced the developer direct, they were like, we're going to be showing you ESO, we're going to be showing you Redfall, we're going to be showing you Forza Motorsport, and we're going to be showing you Minecraft Legends. This year, we are showing you these 4 games, right? Well, do you know what also happened last year?
Shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush.
Shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush. There was a 5th surprise. Now,
think they're gonna. I think they're gonna, there's no way they can't keep it up. Since I mean, the fact that I think didn't Hi-Fi Rush win an award at the Game Awards?
Oh yeah, won 3.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was a pretty good game.
It was a phenomenal. It was in my top 3 of the year, I think. Top 5, top 5, top 5 of the year.
Hmm.
It was. I personally, I think it's the best Xbox game we've gotten
In a while.
in
Yeah.
a long time.
No, I agree. I agree. I agree.
In a long time. And so, here's my thing. Do I think there will be a shadow drop per se? I'm going to go ahead and say no. But do I think there will be a 5th game that they are hiding from us? Yes. I think there is
Fable.
going to be a 5th game. Ooh, I don't know about Fable.
We
do
got
think
announced it. I think the same show we got
it
announced
did.
Avowed
It
at.
did. It did.
So I just want to state, if we don't see Fable, I'm rioting. All right. Like,
Oh boy.
I guess
Be
this
prepared
is
to
it.
riot.
This is it.
All right, so your prediction is Fable. My prediction, see, I think it's either going to be no, I think they're going to save Forza Horizon 6 for the summer showcase.
Hmm. It makes sense.
Yeah, that's what they did last time. They announced at the summer showcase and it came out 4 months later. Awesome. Fantastic. Personally, okay, so the same thing that happened with Hi-Fi Rush is happening again with another game. Before Hi-Fi Rush was announced and shadow dropped, there was a title trademarked, and there was a title that got rated, and there was a title that got all these procedures that you need to do to a game before it releases, right? Everyone was like, what's this Hi-Fi Rush thing getting trademarked and everything? And so everyone was like, what's going on? And then at the developer direct, boom, there it is, shadow dropped. The same thing's happening again with another game, except this time it's from Double Fine, the same studio behind Psychonauts 2. It's called, oh god, I can't remember. It's like Klein or something like that. It's something weird. Double Fine's working on something. A lot of people are thinking if there is going to be shadow drop from a random game, it's going to be this one. I do agree with that, but here's the thing. I don't think they're going to shadow drop anything. I think there's just going to be a 5th surprise game. My prediction, if I'm going to put anything down, I think it is going to be that South of Midnight game that we saw.
Oh,
at the
yeah,
last
that'd
show.
actually be awesome.
That would be really cool.
That'd be so cool.
There were rumors and some little insides earlier this year, or late last year, technically, that were saying that Clockwork Revolution, which was the other game announced at last year's show, Clockwork Revolution and South of Midnight are both farther ahead in development than we originally thought. And there were even getting to a point where people were rumoring and speculating that South of Midnight would come out late 2024. So I could see that. And here's another weird thing. If we look at the studio that is making South of Midnight, that studio is Compulsion Games. Their last game was 2018.
Jesus Christ.
Meaning it is now going to be 6, maybe even 7, 6 years since their last game. That is well over an average development cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Could they shadow drop that? I'm going to say no, just because I feel like they would try and build more advertising and marketing for that. But I think that could be the 5th surprise game.
Interesting.
I think it could. It would be... See, here's the thing with Xbox. They have like 30 games that they could show. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we just don't know.
I actually did not know Double Fine made Brutal Legend.
Yeah, dude.
The Jack Black game back from the Xbox 360 days. I did not know that at all. Also, they made a Sesame Street game. One of the games of all time.
Really?
Yes, Once Upon a Monster. But yeah, no, that's definitely makes sense.
Oh, the Double Fine game that has been trademarked is Kiln.
Kiln. Oh,
Kiln.
like as in like a kiln.
Yeah, Kiln. Kiln.
Yeah. Well, do you know what a kiln is?
Do not. What is that? What is that?
a kiln is like it's like a furnace. It's for like pottery and stuff.
Oh.
Like you usually take usually like whenever you
Oh yeah, yeah,
whenever
yeah.
you
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, whenever you shape something, you probably, depending on how you do it, you glaze it and then or you let it dry, then you glaze it and then you put it in the kiln to let it roast for however long. Um, but yeah, I mean, a kiln is just a giant furnace.
Interesting. But yeah, I really don't know. And will there even be a fifth game? Who knows? There may not be. So set your
I
expectations to
don't
just
know.
those 4 games. But if I had to predict, I think there will be. Now, what it could literally be so many things. Xbox has so much. Um,
Kiln is a multiplayer team-based brawler by Derek Brand with a focus on creating unique player-sculpted characters, featuring crazy physics-based animation and destruction. In Kiln, you play as a mountain spirit, supernatural beings forever at war on the summit. An ancient pottery wheel to create warrior golems called vessels, inhabiting them and enabling you to interact with the physical realm to do battle. Created during the match, extremely diverse character shapes and sizes are possible, each exhibiting unique attributes and controls that leverage the possibilities in procedural animation.
bro, that sounds
And that
wild.
was published April 4th, 2017. But that is on Double Fine's website. Is that
Dang.
if you look up Kiln Double Fine, you see a you see a video you see a you see a video that is showing I think a rough concept.
That's great because we got all that and the game has not been announced at all. So
Yeah, no, that's on their website right now, and that was published back in 2017.
that's wild, and it just got trademarked late last year, and it got like rated, and it got like so many weird updates that were not to the official public, and that was the same thing that happened with Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah, because you had because actually there was some gameplay for it back from 6 years ago.
Yeah, if I
Because it
had to
was
make
a
a
drop that
prediction,
Amnesia
I'm
Fortnite.
I'm predicting this.
Yeah,
If there's gonna be a
yeah.
shadow drop, I think it's gonna be this.
It, I, oof, I don't know. Depending on what I'm looking at, like it looks like a fun game, but I almost would hate for that to be shadow dropped
Mm,
because that looks like it would just be forgotten about.
mm. We'll see. I guess we'll see
I did, I
January
did.
18th.
Wait, what? That's crazy. The YouTube channel that uploaded the video of like the prototype gameplay pinned a comment saying 6 years later this game may fully release at Xbox Direct Developer Direct. Yeah,
Weird.
it's so weird.
I will say there was one absence from this direct that I was really expecting to be here that wasn't, and that is Stalker 2 because it does have that
Hmm.
Q1 release date window on it. And since it is a third party exclusive and coming day one to Game Pass, I figured that they would maybe have it at this show. Um, Nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. So we'll see. We'll see what goes on there.
We'll
But
see.
hey, man, January 18, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, just think by the end of next week, we are going to almost certainly know when we are finally going to play Hellblade 2. We're going to know what the heck Avowed truly is. We're going to finally see Xbox's first big licensed IP exclusive in ages. And we could have a surprise shadow drop or surprise fifth game announcement. So, pretty
Yeah,
exciting stuff, man. Very, very excited.
agreed.
We are going to be doing a podcast the night of, so we will have a podcast out the day
The day
afterwards,
after,
going in and talking about all that. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I am also going to have a reaction. I don't know if Christian will be able
I
to
probably
join me
won't
for
join.
that. Yeah, probably not. Um, But I will go ahead and do a reaction the night of as well before the podcast, obviously. Then yeah, so also expect to see that reaction up on the channel. But other than that, a bunch of videos, reviews still coming out. I honestly plan on finishing Prince of Persia this week, so review should be up by the end of this week. And yeah, I got other videos, rankings, tier lists, all that stuff, so keep up. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. G.A.M.E.R out. Remember, play your way, have fun, enjoy games. We love you guys. Peace.
Bye.